Let's kick things off by taking a look at our first riff. Now, we're going to be learning a total of 3 riffs that will make up our in the style of metal track that you're going to be playing along to by the time we reach the end of this guide. So riff number 1 is, I guess you could call this our verse riff. And we're going to be basing it around the key of E minor, and we're going to be using a series of power chords. Now, all of the power chords we're going to be learning are just 2-finger power chords, 2-string power chords, either with the root note on the A string or using the same shape with the root note on the E string. So the chords E5, G5, C5, D5. And the additional chords are C5 root on the E string and B5 with the root on the E string. But you can see that it's the same consistent finger shape. You're just using your first and third fingers on adjacent strings a whole tone apart. Now let's look at the format, the formula of the chord progression. So we're going to start off playing E5 and we're going to hold that for 3 beats. You're going to strike it on beat 1, so 1, 2, 3. Then on the 4th beat, you're going to play the G5 power chord. So you'll go 1, 2, 3, G5. Okay, so that will sound like this. Here we go. 3, 4. Okay, then we're back down to E5 and we hold that for 2 beats. So E5 goes. Then we play 1 beat on C5 and then 1 beat on D5. So just single strums, keeping it nice and simple, nice and straightforward, getting you used to the chord shapes and getting you used to the formula and the construction of the chord progression. Let's just play through that first portion. 2, 3, 4. Okay, for the second half of the progression, we're going to play E5 back up to G5 again. So exactly the same, 3 beats on E5 and a single beat, single strum on G5 on beat 4. Then we're back to E5 and we play that for 2 beats. And then we play C5 for 1 beat and then drop down to B5 for 1 beat. I kept that in that area because, you know, the B5 is getting quite far down the neck, so it's kind of nice to keep it in that position. And also, I think it's kind of cool for you to be able to play power chords with the root note on both the A string and the E string and see how the chords repeat as well. You know, you're playing a C5 here as well as playing a C5 here. It's always good to know chords in different positions of the neck. Okay, so now let's play through that chord progression in full. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. It's got a real Tony Iommi feel about that riff. That's real classic metal. And it just goes to show that just by using some basic power chords, even with a very straightforward rhythm, you can get a classic heavy metal sound. Okay, so now it's your turn to play through riff number 1.